Ah, yes, the time has come. It is time I have thoroughly explained how I have created this abomination of an online persona. I'm going to explain every single little detail about how the moth persona came into this world, and by the end of this video, your brains will want to explode. It all started back in early September of 2021. At this point, I was already considering rebranding myself online and making a new persona to accompany it. This is also around the same time I started going by my preferred name, Moth. I created a character using P-Crew in multiple forms. They all had the same things in common: ginger hair, pale skin, glasses, ram horns or whatever type of horns, pointy ears, freckles, and one blue eye and one green eye. I like this character design, but it's not very unique. I've seen multiple other character designs like this on the internet. I did, however, take the most common traits and add them to another idea, one with inhuman colored skin, wings, and split dye hair. The only problem with this is that I could not decide on a color scheme. However, I did favor the pink and yellow skin. I ended up doing a couple drawings in my sketchbook of this character with primarily pink skin, but with rainbow splotches all over their body. I think they look a bit like paint splotches, but I believe I was trying to do something to vitiligo, which is when you have multiple pigments in your skin. This was even further away from how I wanted to show myself on the internet. Meanwhile, at school, the curriculum said I was required to take a career class. In this class, we learned about how to make plans for our futures after high school, such as college, etc. One project in this class was to create our own fake business and present it to a small group of classmates. Naturally, I decided to create an art business, since I already had a list of things I could do. So all I needed was a name. After throwing out many potential brand names and discussing them with friends and family, I finally figured out the perfect name. It tells you everything you need to know about this business in 2 words: Moth Multimedia. You can probably see this name stuck with me as I changed it to my username on all my online platforms. I also made a temporary logo for this rebrand, which I also used to try and win some custom light-up headphones on Instagram. I didn't win. It's November now, and I'm still not close to figuring out a suitable persona to use online. Around this period, I took a small break from creating a character design. Until I was in the middle of a math exam and created yet another potential persona. Ah yes, the only suitable place to doodle, Pre-Calculus 10. When I came home, I instantly spent the rest of my night finalizing the design. I loved this design. I loved it so much, I even made it my next sketchbook's first page. So this is completely ruined for me. Don't get me wrong, I still love this design, but it's just not working out. It's a little bit creepy. It also doesn't help that it looks like a recoloring of the Rambu persona, so at this point I was heavily considering using Cartoon Me as the face of my account. But I needed something more interesting. These designs were fine, but they were lacking intrigue and did not stand out. If I wanted to be seen online, I needed something recognizable and something that won't blend into the swamp of the dreaded algorithms of social media. No, I needed something that would be rarely seen online. Something like a cool demon character with pointy ears, horns, and an inhumane skin color. Oh, we're back to this. So I clearly couldn't let go of this design. And I did even more doodles of it, with a few tweaks of course. After taking more time and not going anywhere, I finally put 2 and 2 together that if I'm branding myself as Moth, maybe I should consider my persona to be a moth. I was stuck. I had so many ideas floating around my head, I really couldn't decide what to pursue. So I took it to Instagram. I made a poll in my story to see what my followers wanted to see. The choices were between moth, demon, and human. Overwhelmingly, the votes were in favor of a moth character. Multiple people also pointed out that it would make sense for a moth persona to go with the name Moth Multimedia, which I completely agree with. It took me way too long to figure this out. So I was off to creating a moth-based persona. Of course, I couldn't help get a little bit creative about it, mostly because I have no self-control. I started designing a combination of different animals into a moth character. Okay, I love this. I love this design. Even started calling it the Abomination because it's that crazy of a design, which led to another problem. The design was too cluttered, and it didn't feel like me as a character anyway, so I sketched and 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 sketched. You get the idea. I finally decided on the character's main attributes. I started doing some more drawings digitally to figure out colors and proportions. Finally, something usable. I actually abandoned this entire drawing, but I always kept it in the back of my mind. The next difficult part was figuring out clothing. Eventually, I did sort of create this artist look with overalls and an undershirt. I might use this design in future videos for painting or whatever, but I'm not feeling that it would be a good final design at the moment. After months of designing, failing, and retrying over and over again, I sat down with a few Sharpies and drew on the final page of my sketchbook. I had finally created an outfit I could tolerate to draw over and over again. Also, I'd probably wear it in real life, so that's a plus. I finally created the default outfit. Soon, I hopped onto my tablet and begun to draw the final drawing to put a close to this 8-month saga of getting nowhere. Alright, it's time for the actual drawing, like where I actually draw on camera. Neat. So for the main pose, I just did a pretty basic pose with open wings. This is just mostly a reference as well as like final drawing for everything. And I actually drew this in a different style than I usually draw. It was a bit more cartoony, and I used a lot of different techniques. I saw a couple of artists on Instagram, like more gradients and some just like super sharp white highlights. I think that's everything I used. I tried to make the whole illustration very bold, and I think I really achieved that in the end. I also drew very decent hands and feet, and I call that a win. I am not good at drawing feet. I've been getting better, but I don't get it. The proportions and the pose are a little bit weird, specifically on the legs. It looks a little bit awkward, but I really don't mind. And I've decided this is my favorite digital illustration I've done in a long time, so I don't care. I wasn't too sure about the background, and I'm not super in love with the rainbow, but I also felt like I had to add a little bit of an homage to my past life on the internet. If you know, you know. Like I said before, this is my favorite digital drawing at the moment, and after all the work and struggles of actually creating a final design, I say it's absolutely worth it. I just wanted to thank you for watching, and if you made it to the end of my rambling, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll see you next week. If you will excuse me, I have to draw the love of my life. Will that be the next video? I don't know. Bye-bye!